A while ago, I reviewed DX9 Hulky, and I was very disappointed with it. It was overpriced, it was under-articulated, the robot modes were incredibly off, and the vehicle modes were passable, but when you take everything else into account, it just doesn't work. And to add salt to the wound, KO companies are making it for much cheaper, and people are saying, oh, for that cheap price, it's perfectly fine. But you have to remember that KO companies are always going to be cheaper, and that original price was terrible. And you also have to remember that DX9 is kinda late to the party on these Legends figures. Because right now, we've got Iron Factory, we've got Hot Soldiers, we've got Magic Square Toys, we've got New Age coming up and releasing some really new stuff now. Plus there's also these Beast Wars Legends figures that are simultaneously Masterpiece scale and Legends scale because of the continuity things. I mean, think about that for a second. How amazing is that? I'm just concerned about this notion of parts forming. I'll have to look into that. Now, I don't have that many DX9 figures, but the ones I do have don't paint the best picture. They're not that fun. There's a lot that they do that's very impressive, and it mimics what the larger Masterpiece toys from the company does, especially Carry and Gavolt, which are two of the three that I have. But there's a lot wrong here, and I feel this is just not that great. One thing I absolutely love about DX9's Masterpiece affairs, being DX9 Carry and Gavolt, is that they are dynamic. They look really, really cool, they drive hard into an Ox aesthetic, and they're just plain interesting. That's not present on this guy here, and it wasn't present on DX9 Hulky. These are more in line with their Tyrant, their Galvatron, boring G1 sculpts with kind of forgettable transformations, although this guy is an interesting transformation, but the end result is, eh. So of course Cup transforms into a space dump truck, and it's okay. I mean, we've taken a look at a lot of really good alt modes in this marathon from both Hasbro and Takara. This is just doing the bare minimum. You've got Silver Square there, which is the same silver as that there. You're reusing metallic paints on the window as well. I get it this time. It's not bad, but there's just nothing to the front here. There's just nothing to it. I mean, you look at Titan's Return Cup, and it's awesome. It's got an awesome transformation, an awesome vehicle mode with all sorts of mechanical detail. This has the mechanical detail, but I don't know. It's just missing this pizzazz. Especially you go to the back here and oh, look, hollow with hands that don't peg in anywhere and just a head just completely sitting there. Just sitting right there. And then also at the front here, it's just... they're just saying, oh, it's a Legends figure, we don't need to try. Yes, on a Legends figure you can forgive a few things, but that doesn't mean you don't have to try. They're just not trying here. Maybe they did that with their earlier releases, and maybe they did that with the Dinobots. I'm eager to try out their Dinobots. But from what I've gotten from this company, it's just pretty disappointing. I mean, you know who has dynamic detail and all sorts of cool colours? This knockoff Micromaster. That's pretty pathetic that it's not as good as a knockoff Micromaster. Transformation is very interesting, I'll give it that. You untab the legs from here and extend them. Extend. I'm really worried I'm gonna tear it off the ball joint with the way they are. That is way too tight. And then this part kind of loosely flops around. You can get that out of the way. You take this part, fold it up, then this entire section folds up around on itself and clips together. That is a genius idea for a transformation. Or it would be if it didn't nullify the waist swivel. Okay, whatever. Then you kind of just bring this around and over the top. It's a decent cup. So you gotta do the feet. You kind of gotta get your fingernail in there, get it out. These are also way too tight. And the end result is... oh, almost forgot. These parts need to fold back there. As I was saying, the end result is okay. Now, I got this separate from a 2-pack. I saw this second-hand, and I saw this second-hand for about 15-20 bucks, minus all the weapons and minus RC. I'm so glad I avoided that RC. But, am I glad I got him? Not particularly. He's just missing a lot of cool things. I mean, he's solid, he's a spitting image of the cartoon, but there's not much to him. There's some nice paintwork. I don't know, he's just not that interesting. The articulation's good, you got swivel on a head. The paintwork's decent on the face, but the face looks a bit uncanny. This chest, oh, the joint here just looks unsightly. Ball joints, ball joints, ball joints, thigh swivel, 90-degree knee. A lot, really. There's so much you can do with Cup. He is limber for an old fellow in universe. He is a pretty cool character. But they haven't done anything with him. They've just kind of put him out there. And to top it all off, he came with a deeply disappointing RC and a 2-pack. This is why I'm not too fond of 2-packs, aside from the Iron Factory ones, because if they force 2 figures into a 2-pack, you may like one, but you may not like the other. Repaints are one thing, but 2 separate molds and not the chance to get another one? It's a bit disappointing. This figure is pretty disappointing. Now this toy is fine on its own, but that's all it is, just fine. It has an epidemic of what several Masterpiece figures have. They're going for extreme G1 accuracy without thinking at first that they're supposed to be fun toys. In essence, Legends figures are supposed to be desk toys that are played with on a regular basis. You can create a Legends display, and several people have, but they're the kind of toys you just want to pick off the shelf and transform them a lot. The transformation on this thing is very, very clever, but the end result in both ways is very straight-faced. He's not bad by any means, but he's not that great either. And he's packaged with a terrible RC that I want to avoid at all costs. So can I recommend him? Not really. Of course, some people might say, oh, the Mech Fans Toys KO's good, it's cheap, it comes with a shield that fills in the back, it's oh so great. But I'm not into those Mech Fans Toys KOs, they're just not my thing. And if we're talking about the originals, you could do a lot better. And let's face it, Cup was very prominent in IDW, and you know what that means. Iron Factory's gonna be on that shit eventually. Mark my words. But at the very least, DX9 has a solid history. You know you're getting a decent product when you get their figures. Can't say the same for Hot Soldiers.